you ever thought about writing a song about Kayla's body?
Yes, I have.
And where are we going to go with that?
Well, Kayla's body, as we're... I'm sorry, that's part of my personal life. I'm not going to comment on that.
I think you should.
Yes.
Question from the audience.
Guy in the white Hanes tee.
It actually is Haynes.
I know, it's actually Hanes. Is Mike working?
Hey, I come from Monroe, Louisiana.
Oh, what's that like?
Yeah, wow. Just want to say, first of all, I'm a fan of your music.
Yeah, thank you.
And,
Gosh, how long have you been a fan?
Love it. Download it on iTunes. I noticed
No, I don't
in
get all the
your...
royalties from that.
Right.
You should buy my CD in a store.
I will. When I get a job. I noticed in your music you sing a lot about embryos. My question to you, Erica, from the audience is, who was the one who stole your embryos? Who was the first to steal your embryos, and how did that affect your songwriting?
Yeah, well, the thing about embryos, well, it goes back a while, actually, because, you know, I was an embryo. It's not something I like to talk about. It was a very wet and damp time in my life when I was an embryo in my mother's room, but I feel like that's something everyone can relate to. You know, everyone was an embryo at a time, but as far as the embryos that I lost, it goes back to, I was in college, and I was dating the hot guy from Jurassic Park 3.
Jeff Goldblum?
No, the other hot guy.
Okay.
He's in Jurassic Parks 1 and 2. Jeff Goldblum is in Jurassic Park 3, Monroe. And the hot guy, the character's name is Billy, but he always kept on insisting I call him by his real name. I don't remember what his real name is,
William.
but I just called him Billy. I just called him Billy, straight up. And he slept with me and never called me again. I know.
What?
That bastard!
I know.
Asshole!
Thank you. Red shirt. Yeah. And so,
girl!
as a woman, like, I'm not a fan of violence. I'm not a fan of, you know, actually taking action in your own life. I'm not a fan of forward motion in your own personal life. So what I did was I wrote a song about it. I wrote every song about it. Every song is about the hot guy from Jurassic Park 3 and how he took my embryos. And for me, it led to a healing, is what happened. I came to a place where I was able to sing the same songs that are so filled with pain and anger and regret and utter trauma, that I'm able to sing those songs with only the barest wish of slicing off his penis. Yes, in the back, in the black Hanes tee.
Yeah, I noticed, I read some CNET reviews where most of your chord progressions are kind of repetitive, reminiscent of Nickelback. How do you get your inspiration to write your melodies?
I've heard that before. I've heard the comparison to Nickelback, and honestly, I'm gonna take it as a compliment. Well, to answer your question, like, I'm a musician, so I'm gonna answer your question in song. Hold on, I gotta warm up. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, so this is an excerpt from one of my favorite songs. It's called "He Stole My Embryos and Never Called Me Again." It goes a little something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm not gonna change this chord because this chord is never ending. It's monotonous as my life. Because my life is never gonna change and nothing ever changes because everything sucks and everything's always gonna suck. Everything's always gonna suck and it's never gonna change, so I'm not gonna change this chord and I'm barely gonna change the tone of my voice. Not gonna change the tone of my voice. Not gonna change the tone of my voice. Not gonna change the tone. Not gonna change the tone. I'm not gonna change the tone. Not gonna change the tone of my voice. I'm gonna barely change the words. I'm not gonna change the tone of my voice. So you see, the beautiful thing about me is that while I'm exuding the monotony and not changing the chord and being Nickelback, I'm acknowledging it in like a meta-ironic sense. Like it's so ironic, it's not ironic, you know what I mean? And just like by not changing the chord and by saying I'm not going to change the chord and then actually not changing the chord, I become the truth bearer in the world. The only truth bearer in a world of, frankly, of lies.
That is a religious.
I think so.
Religious.
Yeah, there actually has been I don't really like to talk about it because I don't exactly endorse it, but there is a religious cult surrounding nearby music. It's called the e.langs, elang.net.org/worship.
Dot worship. HTTP.
So, look it up if you're so inclined. But I don't condone that. I don't subscribe to any particular. While I consider myself a spiritual person and connected to a spiritual hierarchy of some kind, I don't subscribe to any particular label in any aspect of my life, be that my religion, my sexuality, my music, or my intelligence level. What is IQ really? That's what my mom always said. Yes, in the red halter top. No, honey, stick it back in. There's a nip slip. Put it back in.
Sorry.
There you go.
Sorry.
Some
Can I get a
other people
refill?
say that you're basically an indigestone.
Yeah.
How do you respond to those critics?
I don't listen to critics. I don't listen to critics just because I feel like critic is an ugly word. It has all these connotations, and actually, aside from the connotations, just listen to the word critic. There's so many consonants, and the vowels in it are so short and sharp and high-pitched. Critic, critic. It sounds like a disease. And I, for one, like to consider myself a drug and disease-free person, which is why I don't listen to critics.
Refill at your service.
Thank you. God, I love box wine. It's beautifully economical. And after enough glasses of this crack, you really don't notice the difference.